Ah, can you hear me now? Maybe. Cool. Sid is here. He wants to watch the birds too. Maybe. Where you going, buddy? So Sid is here as well. He's underneath my desk. Uh-oh. Not my camera. Uh-oh. See if we can fix it. Alright, give me a second. I'll turn this up a little bit here. Looks like my camera froze up. So give me a minute and I'm going to try to fix that. Thought everything was going to go smooth, but seems like it's not today. Nope, I can't. Hang on, people. I'm sorry. It was working. And now nothing's working. And plug it back in. Hang on. Nope. I don't want to stop the stream, but I might have to. You can still hear me? Okay, that's good. I don't know why the display quit displaying. So let me see if I can get it to work again. Just give me 1 minute here. That worked. I think. Let me know if you can see that. Because I got the bird feeder back, I think. Good, we can see it again. I'm going to try not touching the camera this time, though, because I think that might have been part of the problem. One of the cats likes to chew on cords, and it might be damaged. I'll have to fix it. I'm hoping we get lucky. It's the time of day usually when the turkey and the deer come around. And they've been coming to the bird feeders. Really quiet, hey? Let me see if I can fix it. That might be as loud as I can make the mic, so if that's not loud enough, let me know. Good. Hi, Dan. That's my brother there. So yeah, I think it was yesterday I had the deer came right up to the... I have a pumpkin down at the bottom of the feeder here. I'm going to try to turn it. Filled with granola. And the squirrels like it. The deer like it. The turkey will come in there and get it. The birds? Sure. The one right there with the pointy head, the gray one, is the tuft titmouse. The black, white, and gray one is the black-capped chickadee. Here, FS Dan is here. Yeah, you'll have to help me later. I might get a hold of you tomorrow or something, and we can go over how to set all this up better. Maybe test some stuff. Yep, the chickens are behind. They might come out. Usually this time of day they start going inside. It's getting close to dark. I probably should have filled the feeder again. They will empty that every day. I fill that feeder in the morning, and usually by now it's close to empty. Must have been less birds today. Or I got up late. One of the two. It might be the latter. Sid went to sleep under my desk. I'm going to try moving this again. Hopefully it doesn't mess up. Fell asleep. Which is good, because I thought he was going to be loud. So there's a lot of birds in the area here because I'm surrounded by woods. And then the houses on either side of me feed a lot of birds. So, like in the winter, my mom and dad leave for Florida, so they stop feeding, and I get all of her birds. But it's also, you can see the pine trees here. This line of pine trees goes all the way to the edge of the woods where you can see at the end of the field. So they use this tree line to go back and forth between the woods on either side. The cat you saw was Sid. And yeah, he does kind of look like Topo. I have another one outside that looks even more like Topo. I think he's in one of the shorts I did where I'm carrying the two cats. That's my two outside barn cats. He is named after Darth Sidious. Because sometimes I think he's the mastermind behind the shenanigans that happen in my house. Fairly certain. Couldn't find the channel. Well, I'm glad you did find it. Thanks to Dan and Jessica's links, I think is why a lot of people are here. I'm glad you guys came. I do know for a fact that he is the one that gets in the garbage. A lot of scratching post channels. Well, I was the first. I don't know if I was the first. I like to think I was. Oh, bumped the camera. Sorry. I have a curtain over the window so I don't scare the birds. And I was trying to peek out. Although I have a camera I could just watch. I'm trying to see. trying to see if there's any deer in the field. I don't have kitty cams, but I'm pretty sure I could get the cats in here if you would like. I have some treats I could bring them in with. Give me a minute. I'll be right back. Hey, guy, come here. I don't even know where Luigi is. Hey, Luigi. Okay. I'm going to turn this camera around. Here we have Baby Luigi. And Sid. I don't know if the others will come in here. Hey, buddy, you gotta not get bitey. If you get my finger, we're gonna have a problem. Hey, not so bitey. Let the other one get some. Hey, I know it's your favorite. Come over here. Haha, I tricked you. I know, Sid. I know. Here. They're very happy, except he gets bitey, and as it gets towards the end, my finger gets close, and I don't like it. He's gonna get me one of these. Hey, you can't hurt me to get the food. There, it's all gone. It's all gone. Yeah, they do love these. That's it. It's all gone. It's gone, buddy. You gonna lose all interest in me now? And run away? Okay. The other two missed out because they were sleeping. They'll get the next one. That one is food driven. The most. This one's pretty close. But that one will let me know when it's close to time to eat. And if, like today, I was late. He was supposed to eat at 3 and we ate at 3:30. Oh my gosh. End of the world. He's also my alarm clock because he gets fed at the same time every morning, so that's when I have to get up. Done? Okay. Alright, we're gonna watch the birds. See if they're back. Maybe we can get Squirrel Friend to come out. Yeah. He got food. He's done. He left. The squirrel, I don't know where the squirrels went. So I'm up to 3 big squirrels and at least 2 little red squirrels that live in this area and eat. Yesterday I saw 3 squirrels out there at once, big ones. There's the gray one that was out earlier with the white ears. There's another gray one, and then there's one that's black with like little brown splotches. And then there's 2 little red squirrels that were chasing each other around the feeder yesterday. Look, it's a nuthatch. That is the white-breasted nuthatch. Let me look. Yes, white-breasted nuthatch. There's also a red-breasted nuthatch, which looks very much like it with the long pointy face, and then it's got the orange. Those are out there as well sometimes. These ones here that look like little jays are the tough titmouse. There is blue jays that come, but usually they chase off all the other birds and just mow down on what's in the little picnic table. Because I pour oats in that, the granola oats, and then all the corn and little seeds that the chickadees drop all lands in that, and then the blue jays come and clean it out in the morning. Sometimes in the afternoon as well. So there's the 3 I get the most of right there. Black-capped chickadee, the titmouse, and the nuthatch that's on the feeder. The white-breasted nuthatches. Here they come. Bunch of chickadees now. I just don't know where the squirrels are. I think blue jays are mean. That's from my observations of them over the years. They seem to be one of the bully birds. They'll push the other birds away so they can eat the most. And the squirrels. They'll chase the squirrels off. Which, if you don't like the squirrels in your bird feeder, is a good thing. I don't care. I love watching my bird feeder. I ended up moving my desk next to the window just so I can sit here, and then moving the bird feeders closer. Because you can see it's really only like 3 feet away from the window. I have all the other ones in the living room. So the living room, there's three big windows at the end, and that whole side has bird feeders across it. I love you, Dan. My brother coming in with the dad jokes. I've gotten one cardinal. So my mom gets all the good birds next door, and also on the other side is my cousin, because they've been feeding for 40 years. Uh, so when my mom left this year, that week I started getting her cardinals, but I think they went next door again. They have better seed than me. I think they feed straight sunflower, which I might switch to, at least for the winter. I like this mix in the spring because the grosbeaks likes it like this mix, but they're not around right now, so it mostly goes to the squirrels and the jays. I started feeding hummingbirds again this year. Uh, where I was before, I didn't get any hummingbirds, but there was so many at my feeder this year. I started feeding them because we also reviewed a feeder with a camera, which is in my chicken coop right now, checking to make sure nothing's in there eating their food. So far, just chickens in there. I will say, the squirrels at Jessica's house do love running back and forth across that window and freaking out the dogs. I got pictures and video of the one was running up and down the side of the window the one day. It was funny. And I do like the bird feeders with the cameras. I had to tie mine to the pole because, as you can see, this one's moving. It's not even windy right now. But because it's always swaying, the motion detector went off constantly. So I ended up tying it to the pole with a bungee cord to keep it from swinging. And then I got more videos of just birds instead of wind. It looks like the chickadee slowed down. It might be getting too late. We'll see. Yeah, it Kira loved it. It was great. Oh, I don't know if you guys could hear that. That was Zoomies. Sid just ran through the house. Maybe I can get him to come back this way. Hey, buddy. He's interested in running back and forth. Yes, F. Vance. From what I understand, birds cannot taste the capsaicin. So I know in your chicken feed you can mix in red pepper flakes, or the red pepper seeds, and it'll keep the critters out of your chicken feed. I thought about doing it at the other place because I had a problem with raccoons and everything else getting in the chicken coop. And they mainly came in for this feed. Uh, and I was trying to deter them. We got more birds, but no squirrels and no deer. I was hoping we'd have a couple. Lots of chickadees though. But that's what I get the most of. I like them. I think they're pretty birds. The cats love to watch them. I really like the little titmouse too. He's cute. Yep. I think Sid wore himself out. He ran back and forth across the house like 3 times. Nothing since. So I have 4 cats inside. I have the 2 you've seen, Sid and Weechi. I also have Chewy, who is sleeping, and Ellie, who is the only female. She was laying in the living room. She was not interested in my shenanigans. And then outside there's 2 that keep the critters out of my chicken coops and my other buildings. And that is Wingus and Dingus. And like I said, you could see them in one of the shorts recently. I'm walking outside and I have the 2. I don't think they'll come by today. I fed them so that they wouldn't, come and eat birds or anything while we were watching. I don't think they do take birds, but they do most of their hunting next door. I've seen them catching the mice and the voles, some other stuff like that, little rodents. But they keep pretty well fed, so they usually don't go far to get food. I first got them at the other place because I was surrounded by more farmland than woods, so there was rats. And the rats would get in the chicken coop, and they became a problem quick. Well, the cats really like the rats, so they keep the problem down without me having to use poison or traps or anything of that nature. Because they'll dig like, I cemented in the floor and they dug it right out underneath and tore it up where the new cement was, and it was just a constant fight and a constant problem. I found the easiest way to manage most pest problems is with whatever eats the pests. That's usually whatever's native, but for rats, cats is the best option. When I have an aphid problem in my garden, I try to get ladybugs. When mosquitoes become an issue, you try to lure in dragonflies and spiders and that kind of stuff. It's much better than just spraying a bunch of poison everywhere, because then it gets in my drinking water and my food, and I don't want that. I don't, personally. I also don't want the cats to find the rat poison and eat it. There's lots of reasons not to use it. Not unless you have to. I get hummingbirds up until, I think it was September, they stopped coming. Sometimes they stay later, but I only get one or two anyway. Again, my cousin feeds and my mom feeds so heavily that they're used to going there. It's an established place for them. She also feeds the Baltimore Orioles, and there's another bird that all eat the grape jelly and fruit. I don't remember what kind it is. I keep chickens mainly for eggs. I occasionally will do a round of meat chickens. I don't like doing it because I don't like to know my food. It's sometimes it's not bad. Meat chickens are aggressive and angry birds. They're just hateful creatures to begin with, so it's not so bad. But messy, yeah. Eggs is easy. I'm having an issue now. Something got into my chicken coop this summer, right before I moved, and got 8 of my chickens. And then when we moved, one had a heart attack and passed away. My dad resuscitated it, and it was doing fine for a minute, and then it died again. So that one went. But so I have 3. Because it's the time of year, the chickens lay less, and mine are older, so I'm not getting any eggs right now. I could put a light in the coop, but for as many eggs as I'll get, I'll just buy them for the winter, and then come spring I'll get more hens. I like to have 8 to 12 hens. It gives me enough eggs for me and my mom and dad and a couple other people that I trade eggs to for whatever other goods, without having to deal with a bunch of chickens and a bunch of this and that. 8 to 12 is manageable, easy. I can feed them once a day, water them every couple days, and it's very manageable. But like any livestock, they kind of tie you to the building. So I got to be here most of the year. When we go to Novi and Virginia and places like that, I got to have somebody come take care of my animals all the time. So it, it's a little bit of responsibility, but it's worth it to me to have the fresh eggs all summer. Welcome back, Sid. Did you run yourself out? All done? Ready for a nap? Come on. Come on. You want to watch the birds? Here you go. You can't bump the camera, buddy. Yeah, so this is, like I said, I just like watching the birds sit here. It's fun. Sid likes watching the birds too, don't you, buddy? You tell him. You tell those birds. Tell him. Tell him. hope you guys are enjoying this. Those of you that are still here. Alright, let this run for a few more minutes and then I have to start dinner. I'm in charge of dinner tonight, so I'm going to make some potatoes and a pork loin. The potatoes are already ready. They just got to go in the oven. And then the pork loin, I'm going to get ready and put on the rotisserie while the potatoes are cooking. And it looks like Dan's going to go live after me. So I'll go till 4:45. And then I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to get started on dinner. It'll start getting dark soon anyway, and all the birds will go away. The cats are all kind of sleeping anyway, so they're not going to be any entertaining. I'll pass you guys over to Dan with all his charisma. Done watching the birds, Sid? Okay. I was really hoping we'd see some deer or some turkey today. I went outside early. I was walking to my dad's house and I went straight line instead of going. I usually go down the driveway so I don't have to go down the hill. But the turkeys were there, so I went straight to his house, and on the way down the hill I turned around and the turkeys were all running towards me. They ran, man, they must have got like 10 feet from me and stopped. The only thing I can think is some of the neighbors have been feeding all the animals, or I don't know, maybe throwing out their compost or something, or maybe they watch me feed the birds every day and come in behind me and clean up. I don't know, because I do spill a lot when I'm filling all these feeders. But yeah, they must have, then when I walked away, they went to where I stopped and was standing, and they were looking around, so I think they thought I was feeding or spilling stuff. And yes, F-Anth, I do hear coyotes. I don't hear them as much where I am now, but part of that is where I was, it echoed further. So here, when I hear them, they're closer, which they get much closer here because the woods is closer. I see signs of them in the back of the property, because that's my mom and dad's property here, that you can see where the trees are on the on the left. So back there further, I see tracks and signs of them occasionally. But nothing close yet. I haven't seen them with the cameras outside. I haven't seen them with the cameras that watch the chicken coop. The neighbors have seen 1 or 2 different bears that come through. There's I guess one that she said is about 350 pounds, which, will tear up my bird feeders if it finds them and whatnot, but it'll get into the chicken feed as well. That's until I get the shed built, so I don't worry too much though. They tend to avoid people, and there was a lot of noise and movement to get this building in place. And yes, Becky, turkeys are scary. Another reason I didn't like doing meat chickens, I had 40 once, and large groups of birds are scary, especially big birds. I mean, there was a whole movie about it. I think it was called Birds. Yes, The Birds was a Hitchcock film. Pretty good one if I remember. I had a rooster. So my first rooster was very aggressive, and I had somebody come take him away. And then my next rooster was not aggressive. And I don't know if it's because I was around him more when he was little, but the first one I didn't spend much time with. I still have two of the birds from that batch. The the black and the black and white hen I have are both from that first batch of egg egg birds I got, and they don't like letting me get close to them. You know, the one will. She'll let me get within a couple feet of her, but I never picked them up, so they don't let me grab them. Like every time I've had to catch them, it was to put them in a and to move them. You know, move them from one place to another. So they're not keen on it. But the next batch, I was around more. I worked less, so it was easier. I'm hoping one of these batches I can handle them from when they're little, at least once a day, and then they'll let me pick them up, and then I worry less, you know. Especially with the rooster. I've seen roosters do some damage. Yeah, I had a big grain shovel I used to carry, and I would just keep it between me and the aggressive rooster, and they would just he would hit the shovel instead of me. And yes, chickens and ducks mix. I don't when I get ducks, because where I'm building my new house, there's a pond, and we're gonna get ducks to help clear out some of the algae and whatnot. I don't want the ducks in the chicken pen because ducks make a mess with their food. Ducks mix their food with water and try to put water in everything, and they splash everything around and make a mess. And I like my chicken coop dry. Uh, I use mostly pine shavings, because my dad has a planer, and when he planes wood, I collect the shavings. That's my bedding, and it's nice and dry. I can switch it out whenever then, and it's real nice. But the ducks will make a mess in there, and they'll make everything wet. So I'll build something separate for the ducks. I actually have what I use temporarily for a chicken coop for these guys, which is probably what I'll use to start. Rose Wilson says, just joined, came from Snow Dogs. Welcome. Thank you for joining. We are about done. I'm gonna end the stream here in just a minute or two, and then Dan's gonna start his stream on RFS Dan, which I recommend going over and watching. I'm gonna turn it on while I cook, so I probably won't be chatting much, but I'll be there watching with everyone. I hope you guys had fun. If you did, let me know, and I will do this again. We could do more often, Jessica. We could do a live one to the next. I mean, since we're all doing it, I think this is fun. I enjoy watching the birds, so if you guys enjoy it too. I started watching other bird channels because the cats would watch them. I would put it on the TV and just let the cats bat at the TV. Keeps them busy, especially when I'm gone. So good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. And I probably will do this again. I might set up something where I can put a camera in the living room also, so that maybe we can switch over to the cats playing or something. But I'll figure it out. This was just a test run. This was to make sure all my equipment worked. Half of this stuff I pulled out of the closet today and hooked up, so hopefully it all works out and we can do this again in the future. Thanks, guys. It was fun. And I'll see you next time, and actually on Dan's channel in just a few minutes. Goodbye.